The contradiction lasted less than 12 hours, yet it exposed a divide that months of political speeches had failed to conceal. On April 7, 2026, Donald Trump published a warning directed at Iran.
The fact is, she asked me a very inappropriate question. She should really be apologizing to me. You want to know the truth?
You could see there was blood coming out of her eyes, blood coming out of her wherever.
I said, how much of this do you take? I have zero respect for Megyn Kelly. I don't think she's very good at what she does. I think she's highly overrated.
Trump, who is the front runner, will not apologize. And I certainly will not apologize for doing good journalism. These stories that I'm about to show you of some of the troubling moments were not hidden on the dark web. They were all over X this weekend. They were everywhere. And they received zero coverage on mainstream media. Why? Because the targets were conservatives. President Trump, his family, ICE agents just trying to do their job.
It's a very small element in my life, Megyn Kelly. I don't care about Megyn Kelly, but no, I would not apologize. She should probably apologize to me, but I just don't care.
The voir dire. I mean, really, they took the most boring aspects of this trial and made it into their own personal Trump porn. He sent me a screen grab from CNN. Hush money, Trump hush money trial, live in the courtroom. New, 9:26 a.m. Trump scanned the rows to his left as he walked down the center aisle, pursing his lips. You may have heard that there was a dust-up involving yours truly and presidential contender Donald Trump. You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
In that message, he declared that an entire civilization could perish that very night if Tehran refused to meet his demands. Yet only a few lines later, he ended the post by offering his blessing to the Iranian people. The threat and the expression of sympathy appeared side by side. When Megyn Kelly presented both portions to her audience, she refused to dismiss the inconsistency as clever political strategy. Kelly had backed many of Trump's policies over the years and frequently defended him against criticism she believed was unfair. That record made her reaction far more difficult to portray as another routine attack from a Democratic figure or an unfriendly media outlet. Instead, she focused on the words themselves. In her view, a president could not threaten widespread destruction while simultaneously claiming to stand with the very people placed at risk. No leaked recording or anonymous source was needed. Every sentence came directly from Trump's verified social media account. For months, the administration had argued that military pressure was intended to help ordinary Iranians free themselves from an oppressive government. Trump often spoke favorably about the Iranian people while directing his criticism toward the country's leadership. But by warning that an entire civilization could be destroyed, he erased the distinction his administration had repeatedly tried to make. Infrastructure such as power stations, bridges, water systems, hospitals, and homes serves ordinary civilians, not just government officials. Those are the places millions of people depend on every day. Kelly carried that criticism onto live television, questioning how a political movement that had built its identity around avoiding costly foreign wars had arrived at rhetoric threatening an entire population. She also challenged the recurring argument that every controversial statement should automatically be viewed as evidence of hidden negotiating genius. That was the dilemma Trump could not escape without confronting his own words. If the Iranian people deserved America's support, why describe their civilization as something that could disappear? If victory had already been achieved, why were additional deadlines, military strikes, and new threats still being announced? And if America first meant avoiding endless foreign entanglements, why was the country being asked to support another conflict that appeared to be growing rather than ending? Trump answered by attacking Kelly and other conservative critics personally. He labeled them foolish, disloyal, and driven by a desire for attention. But those insults did nothing to erase the two statements displayed next to each other. By then, the discussion had moved beyond personalities. For many viewers over the age of 65 across the United States, Canada, and Britain, the language brought back memories of earlier wars, launched with confident promises of swift success. Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan all resurfaced in public memory, along with repeated assurances that greater military pressure would quickly produce peace. Experience had taught many of those viewers that civilians often bore the greatest cost whenever leaders spoke about entire nations as though they were a single enemy instead of millions of individual people. Perhaps Kelly's most significant decision was refusing to reduce the debate to a simple test of loyalty. Supporting a president, she argued, did not require endorsing every military threat. Likewise, questioning the expansion of a conflict did not automatically make a conservative disloyal, weak, or supportive of Iran's government. Trump's response exposed a deeper tension within his own political coalition. He had built much of his support by criticizing leaders who ignored their voters, and by promising to avoid the kind of establishment wars many Americans had grown tired of. Now, several longtime allies were expressing those same concerns, and he responded to them with the same dismissive language he had once reserved for political opponents. The more forcefully he pushed back, the more attention returned to the original question. Kelly never claimed to possess military expertise or authority over national security decisions. She simply asked whether a president's language should clearly distinguish between a hostile government and the civilians living under its rule. Trump's own post had blurred that line before attempting to restore it with a closing blessing. No later criticism of his opponents could reconcile those two conflicting messages. The televised exchange lasted only a few minutes.